Good evening and welcome to our latest crafting video. Let me just move my camera forward a bit so that I'm not off the edge of the table again. Good evening, my name's Jenny McCormac. I am an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator and I'm based in the market town of Brackley, which is in Northamptonshire, and that is here in the UK. This is my third video for this week, the second one featuring our nominated stamp set of the week called, as you can see, Iconic Imagery. So it is a two-step stamping set if you want it to be, because you've got a stamp with an infill. So you've got the candle with the little stripes, you've got the tree with the infill, you've got the leaves, the berries, hearts, a snowflake on its own, and stars, confetti, and obviously the flames for the candle. And it also has a nice sentiment. It's lovely big celebrate and the word grateful, and then we've got the season, and then you can add in so let's celebrate you, for you, love for you, celebrate light, peace and joy. There's a nice little ampersand there. Celebrate the season, all of those combinations. This is the set of cards I've made so far. Actually, I think there are more. I'm not quite sure where they've gone. These two here are the ones I did live on Monday. So just stamping the 3 trees and a Merry Christmas from the Reindeer Fun stamp set, and then celebrate the season on the inside, that nice big bold sentiment. These are on our note cards, which measure 3.5 inches by 5, and then I've got for you, and the papers here coordinate with the stamp set. So you have candles, you've got snowflakes, you've got leaves, you've got Christmas trees, but you've also got hearts, stars, and lots of other bits and pieces as well. And then the other one I've got here is I took the inspiration from the papers for the colour, which is Moody Mauve and Bubble Bath, and I stamped the trees on a little die cut shape to coordinate with the papers, added a little bit of bling to those. Now, I was deliberating what to do this evening, and I suddenly thought I haven't done a waterfall card for a very long time. When I looked on my YouTube, the only waterfall card design that I recorded was, would you believe, 2017. I'm sure I've done some since then, but nothing that's recorded. So I thought it was a good opportunity to do another waterfall card. Now it looks like on my screen it's, oh no, I thought it had stopped, but I don't think it has. So I thought these are perfect for waterfall card because you've got lots of little images. You could also use the papers. So what I'm going to do is stamp out probably 4 or 5 images and sentiments and create a waterfall card. I'm hoping I can remember how to do it. So let's give it a go. Let's stamp the little elements to begin with. So just going to grab a piece of thin white card. I haven't really decided what size these are going to be. Let's see. Let's do them 5 centimeters. So these are going to be square. You don't have to make these square if you don't want to. They can be rectangular. I've even seen them done with circles and ovals as well. So I'm just going to cut some of these that are 5 by 5. And then these are going to go onto a larger background, I think. It's absolutely foul weather outside here at the minute. It's raining, it's really windy, and I'm led to believe there's a storm on its way, as if we hadn't had enough rain. Okay, just going to do I'm going to do a couple of spares in case I need them, and just some simple stamping. Let's do that one the same. So I've got a selection of 5 centimetres, so that's about 2 inches, give or take, and I'm going to get these overlapping. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's start with the tree. I've got an outline and an infill. It looks a bit lonely on its own. I might have to do a couple of trees, or even 3. So let's see. And when you're doing waterfall cards, you can use anything. You could use designer papers if you've got some coordinating designer papers. That would definitely work. Okay, let us do a mossy meadow. Now you can have duplicates as well, so don't feel you have to have every single one as different. Let's put, looking for a piece of paper to go behind so that I can go off the edge of my square here. Right, I'm going to put this roughly just low of centre. Just going to do 3. I'll tell you what, this would be fun if you had a large card, would be the 12 Days of Christmas. Okay, that's the outline. This is the infill. I'll just use Granny Apple Green to add to that. So that's Mossy Meadow. This is the infill stamp. And you certainly could have a series, oh sorry about the ink on my finger, it's permanent marker. You could have sentiments all the way down here as well, or in place of. Okay, so that's one of my elements. I'm going to have a snowflake for another. That's not a snowflake, that's confetti. Let's find my snowflake. There it is. Okay, so there's one. Let's move these out of the way. I'll just do that in, I think this is Misty Moonlight. First colour to come out, and just pop some snowflakes on here. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I've got 3 trees, I've got 3 snowflakes. Let us add the flowers and the berries. So we've got an outline, an infill, and some berries with an outline and an infill. So let's get our next one ready. Isn't it funny how that didn't look square at all? Right, let's use Mossy Meadow again. So let's do 1, 2, and 3, like so. Sorry, I thought I'd muted my phone from sending messages with a noise. There we go. Right, that's the outline. Let's pop the infill with the lighter green. So that was Mossy Meadow I used. We'll use Granny Apple Green. And this is going to fit in our little sample. I do need to take my glasses off so I can see what I'm doing. So I hope the weather is nicer for you than we have it here. It's definitely not very conducive to walking the dogs. That's for sure. There we go. And I think I'm going to add some real red berries. Sorry, it is obviously got it into myself to bark at something outside. Let's have a look and see. I can't remember if those are. Okay, just going to add these little berries in. Two. Okay, I can leave it like that. So I've got 3 lots of those with berries, and if I've got just a light real red pen or something, I might just colour those in. This is Light Poppy Parade. Let's see what that looks like. It's good to add a little bit of colour to those. 2, 3. I'm hoping I can remember how to do the mechanism when it comes to it. I'm sure we'll work it out between us. Okay, so I've got 3 there, and I'm going to have 5 altogether. And so let me see what else can I have. I've got stars. Oops, a daisy. Might just have some leaves. Not as Christmassy, but they will do the job. I've got an outline and an infill. I can see the outline. I can't see the in. Oh, there it is. There we go. So it's these ones here I'm going to use, and then the other one's going to have a sentiment on it. So let's stamp the outline first, and I think just for speed I'm going to keep the same set of colours. And I tell you what, I might add in and that is on the Reindeer Fun. There's a set of bells. Okay, I'll leave that for that. Now if you don't like stamping the infill stamp, you could colour all of these in manually if you prefer. I'm just going to use my Granny Apple Green. Take my glasses off again. So I've started to receive my orders that have the new products for next year. So as demonstrators we can pre-order them a month plus in advance. So now my job is to go around and sort out the ones on my bookshelf with my stamps that are retiring, and then the new ones coming in, and then getting those all labelled with prices and stuff like that. So it takes a bit of time, but we get there. Okay, and I could just have a Christmas sentiment. The one I was thinking actually with these bells here, but I think I just need 5, so I'm going to see if this one will fit. Just. I've also got a different snowflake and holly and berries on in that set. But let's just try this one. So this says Christmas is better together, or I might change my mind and do Merry Christmas. Sorry, after all of that I'll do it fairly quickly. So this is one stamp in landscape, and I'm going to just ink up part of it and do Merry Christmas one above the other, if that makes sense. And all I'm going to do is just ink up one part of this stamp. Let's use a nice bright real red, and this is our 5th one. Now you can do as many of these as you can fit onto your card. 4 to 5 is a good number, unless you've got a very large card, as you'll see why. So this is my Merry. So I'm just very carefully looking at the edge of my stamp where the Merry finishes, and let's just pop that in there. And then I'm going to, oh, well, I would clean that. My cloth is a bit dry, my chamois. And then I'm going to do the same and just ink up the Christmas element. So you can see the edge of the ink pad and the edge of the stamp. Hopefully I've got that fairly well laid out. There we go. Merry Christmas. Okay, so those are my 5 panels. This one looks a little bit bare. I'm going to put some little stars on the top of that tree. I'll put an infill star here. I'm going to do that in Daffodil Delight. So a warm welcome to anybody who's joined us since we started this evening. We're doing a waterfall card, and the funniest thing was I Oh, that's a bit of a big star for my tree. Never mind. Just do one, I think. I was trying to remember what it was called, and I was trying to look at the design because I knew it was, the design sort of described it. I got there eventually. Waterfall card. Okay, so I've got 5 of those, and I'm actually going to mount them onto, I think if I put them all on red, that will work. So this is real red, that will tie them all in together. So these were 5 centimetres square, so I'm going to make this 5.5, like so. One, 2, 3. I should be able to get all 5 out of that by my quick calculations. There we go. So let's mount those quickly. And hello Scott, good evening to you. Thank you for joining us. I'm going to do, well, I'm doing a waterfall card. I don't know if you've done one of those before, Scott. I realise, well, the last one I recorded was 2017. But I'm sure I must have done one since then, but nothing on YouTube, so maybe I haven't. Okay, so I've got 5 squares. These measure 5 centimetres each, and I've just stamped using the Iconic Imagery stamp set. You could vary the colours of these if you wanted to, but for speed, just going to use the real red. 1, 2, 3. There's that one. 4. Now I'm pretty sure that when you come to put these on the mechanism, you don't have, I normally do the mechanism the same size, but I think it can be smaller. I think what I'm going to do is do the mechanism in the real red as well. Right, I'm testing my memory. So these are 5.5 centimetres square, so I'm going to cut a strip that is 5.5 centimetres. Sorry about the reflection. Okay, and then I'm going to score this at 5.5. That's going to be my first score line. And then I'm going to do these a centimetre apart, so 6.5, 7.5, 8.5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more, and 9.5. Now you can make this, you can make them wider apart, but I know I haven't got that much space on my card, so these are going to get folded. And hi Hi Sam, hi Trudy, hi Carol. So your best bet is to fold them in both directions, because you want this nice and flexible. Now if you haven't got a scoreboard, you can just use a pencil line, but just make sure that when you do this flattening that it's nice and straight. You can use the edge of a block if you haven't got a bone folder. Okay, because we want this sort of rolling effect. Okay, there's that one. And this one. So this mechanism you can make separately and add on to your card. As I say, just make sure that those lines are nice and even, and that your card, when you fold them, is nice and straight, like so, so that they wrap around easily, like so. And then what we're going to do is decide which you want on the top and which you want on the bottom. So I'm just going to try this out for size. So I've got Merry Christmas. I've got this one here with the leaves. Let's add in the snowflakes, the berries, and then my little tree on the front. And what the mechanism will do is, as you bring it down, it will show you each one of those in turn. So that's going to go on the top. So what I'm going to do, I think to make it easier for you to see, is use some double-sided tape so that you can see where the glue would go. And it's going to go on each of these panels here, starting with my Merry Christmas. Yes, that's the one at the bottom. So you can start at the top or the bottom, and because I can't remember if I need all of that to be covered, I'm just going to do it across the front to start with. So make sure it's lined up, and you want it just slightly shorter than the fold. You don't want it overlapping the fold, or else it won't fold back away, and you want to keep it nice and straight. So what you can do is, on each one, if you're not very good with wet glue, then tape would be your best friend. I'm going to put a little bit extra on that one, and that one, and that one there. Okay, let's put a little bit extra there. I hope you're well, Trudy, and Sam, and Carol, and Scott. Okay, so I'm going to take the next one. It's just going to be this one here, I think. Take my glasses off and line it up again, nice and straight, just underneath the score line. Let's have our snowflakes in the middle. Not quite sure why he's barking. Okay, so this is the effect you're going to get. And then I've got to have my tree on the front. The wider the gap, obviously the more of each one you'll see when it's closed. So these are 1/2 centimetre apart. Whether I put them too close, I don't know. We'll see. Okay. So this is how they're going to go, like so. Alright, so now we need a mechanism for it to be attached to the card, and the only bit effectively that's going to be attached is behind here, behind that panel, because this tab needs to move up and down. So let's grab a card. I'm well, thank you. Trudy might hadn't better speak too soon, but my cough and everything is well on its way now. I wonder if that will fit my card. Oh, not quite. A little bit too narrow. Okay. Maybe I'll use... No. Now, I was going to stick with real red, but I want to use one of the papers. What's cherry cobbler, isn't it? Oh, that might work. Candy canes, all the trees. Let's see. I hadn't thought this far ahead, had I? Confetti, wrong colours. So it might be the candy canes. Obviously I could stamp my own background as well. That might be better. That's the wrong red. Oh, that might work. What do we think? Candy canes, fern, or trees. Let's cut my card base. I think probably those trees. I'm just going to have a standard card base at 14.85. Trees, or I could have some plain stripes. Let me have a quick look. Or even actually that plaid. I think I'm preferring that. Otherwise there's a lot going on. Or that one. Trust me. Okay. There's that one with the plaid. Quite favouring that, or the stripes, which could go either way. I think I'm going to go for that one. Oh, it's got that pretty background, hasn't it? I'm going to go for that. Sorry, I know you said the trees. But this is going to pick up the green and the red. So I'm just going to do this as a standard card base at 10 centimetres by 14.35. Now that's going to annoy me that that is spaced like that. So I am going to trim that little bit off there, like so. Okay. Now that's going to annoy me. It doesn't normally, but when it's a plaid like that, it does. There we go, that's better. Looks a bit more even, doesn't it? Okay, this is going to go onto the front of my card. I could add another layer, but there's a lot going on, so I don't think I need to. So apologies, Trudy and Carol, who went for the trees option. Okay. This is going to go onto there. I will add a light coloured inside as well. Okay, so now what we want to do is, oh, that's handy, just fits in there, obviously it was meant to be, is fit something that this is going to hold on to here. So let's try. Have I got an offcut? Right, let's do it 2 centimetres wide. Okay. So you can either attach it to the back of that. So the glue is going to go on the back of the bottom of the Merry Christmas. Okay, so just where you see that overlapping, to attach that together, and then this will get attached on here with this piece, oops, sitting behind there. Does that make sense? Like that. And that is attached to it so that you've got that effect. Okay, so just trying to think whether I'm going to have that showing or whether I'm going to have that hidden behind, because I could just wrap that around there. Right, let's see. This is 5.5 centimetres, isn't it? This is the problem when you haven't done something for a long time. Right, this is 10. So, oh, minus 5.5. Well, it doesn't really matter actually, does it? Let me see. I'm going to do a score line there. Make that a little bit bigger than 5.5. Score line there. Just trying to see of a tidy way to do this. That's what I'm thinking. So attach it to the back of this at the bottom, and then wrap it around here. And I'm sorry, having done it all in the same colour, that wasn't quite as helpful, was it? And then that will work like that. And it will be, yeah, okay, let's do that. So this is going to go, oh, actually I could put it in between here. Just using my brain now, it's very dangerous, isn't it? Yes, I'm going to put it in between. I hope that's the right thing to do. If it isn't, I'll trim it off and start that little bit again. It's just so it's, actually I could put a bit on the back, just so it's nice and tidy really. Okay, so I deliberately left that little bit open. So I'm lining that up on the bottom, so it's effectively on the back of this piece. I happen to have sandwiched it in between. Okay, and then that's going to go around there, and then it's just this piece that I'm going to attach here. Yeah, okay. I don't sound very sure, do I? Let's give it a go. I'm going to trim this end piece off to fit. And I need space to have a little something on there, either a sentiment or a tab or something, or a sentiment underneath. Okay, so the only bit, hopefully, I've put glue on is the back of this piece. Okay, and I need to give that a minute just to hold. So who's done a waterfall card recently? Anybody? Okay, just want to give that a little bit extra pressure before I pull it away. Yes. Perfect. Okay. Now what I could do actually is cut that into a banner shape. You could use a fancy fancy blade or a die cut on the edge, or stitched something. I might try. So I don't want it to go further than that. So I'm just going to use a pencil mark. Like so. That's going to be where I need to trim it, maybe slightly smaller. And I can just extend it out. Like so. There's my pencil line. So let's trim that, if I can see it. There it is. So I'm going to keep that nice and flat. Hopefully you can see that there. Like so. And then I'm just going to mark where the that comes up to, just roughly, like so. And I think what I'm going to do, can't decide whether to do it that way or that way. Sort of that way seems a little bit more sensible, doesn't it? So what I'm actually going to do is mark that. Does that fit through there? No. Just a little bit further. And then cut that at an angle. I might regret this bit. We'll see. Normally I just have it straight across, but for some reason I feel like I want it to be a little bit different. There we go, that's worked, doesn't it? So you could put the word pull on there, and in fact from some of our Round We Go dies you could put the word pull. Am I going to make it a little bit smaller? I don't want it right on the bottom here, I've decided. So I'm just going to make that a little bit smaller. Sorry everybody. So let us just mark this. I'm going to take it to there. And then somewhere in there. Yes, Jenny. Right. I'm making this look a lot more difficult than it needs to be, I'm sure. But it's only because I want this a bit shorter. That one to there. There we go. Hopefully that will still fit, and it's not going to do, what you don't want it to do is disappear up behind there, like so. There we go. So there is my Christmas waterfall card. I'm just going to rub out my little marks. And then I'll add an inner to the card. I don't need to do that now because I've been here long enough. And I may bling up a few little bits on here. What you don't really want to do is put bling under the first layer, because it won't sit as flat. Let's rub out my lines there. You could stamp, if this was white for example, you could also stamp another message or write your message on there, because that's going to be hidden as it goes up inside the card. But I hope you like it as a trying to remember, but did remember in the end how to do that. Let me just, there's a little mark on here with some glue. Just going to get rid of that with the rubber as well. And we're done. Take that little bit off. You could add some wink of Stella to any of those elements as well. And maybe I'll put pull on there. And then, as I said, you can sort of mark that and know that you've got an area there for a nice Christmas sentiment. And then obviously you can pop your inner in with your message. So there we go. I hope you like it. I'm glad I haven't forgotten how to do waterfall cards, even if I did forget what they were called. So if you do give it a go, the measurements for this were 5 centimetres square for each of those stamped elements, 5.5 centimetres square for the each of these pieces, so they were mounted up together. And then I started with my strip, which was 5.5 centimetres by the length of the A4 card. And then I effectively placed my first one on, and then scored 1 centimetre in between each of those. So you could probably get 1 or 2 more in and position that a little bit further down if you wanted to, but that's got 5 on it altogether. And then I added the little flap that went tucked in behind there, which makes it nice and tidy. I think in the past I've done a piece that goes right the way across, but I think that's actually much nicer. So thank you so much. I will let you get on with your evening. Appreciate you joining me. I'll do a little bit of blinging up of the front. I will add an inner and post that photograph when I upload the video. Thank you so much, everyone. Do take care and have a great evening ahead. Stay warm, stay dry, especially if you're here in the UK or anywhere where there are any storms forecast. Thank you so much, everyone. Take care for now, and thanks for watching.